Hi, I'm Erica Larson, recording my case study regarding parental apathy for school community relations. What do I know? Well, the principal does not believe that the parents in his school want to be involved. He makes conclusions about the community based on his intuition and scant information. He is somewhat open to parental involvement recently after the assistant principal has suggested ideas. And he has set meetings with parents about parental involvement as a result of her suggestions, but he does continue to show resistance. For example, he says, well, I will only start an advisory committee, but I will not start a PTO or a PTA. And when 8 parents show up for the meeting that he scheduled, he considered canceling it because only 8 parents showed up. So my questions at this point are, what ideas have the assistant principal specifically communicated with the principal? How much depth has she spoken with him about her ideas? Have these ideas been casually just kind of thrown out there in passing, or has she really seriously engaged him about her thoughts? And that's the second, what do I need to know? How has she communicated these ideas with the principal as well? And how have they worked together regarding parental involvement? It says that she's offered ideas and then he set a meeting, but it's really not clear if they've communicated as these things have happened, or is it if it's been a kind of a disjointed. She throws out ideas and then all of a sudden a meeting is happening. Also, I'd like to learn more about the community and the parents. How do the parents view the school and the school's requirements? What are the parents' thoughts about parental involvement? What do they actually think about the core subject that we're talking about here? And in previous attempts to learn about the parents and to connect with them, what has actually worked? It might be something small, but if we can identify what has been successful, we can build on that. Also, what would draw parents to the school? This might be something that we would want to think outside the box on. But like, for example, in class readings, one of the readings discussed a health clinic that was housed in the school, and this could be a really good way to get parents into the school and trusting the school, for example. Not a typical educational activity, but it definitely would work in getting the parents involved in the school. What are the parents' interest in being involved? The parents who attended the meeting, what would they actually like to be involved with? And are they aware of any other parents who weren't able to attend but are also interested in being involved with the school? As far as the problem identified, parents do need an option to be involved in their child's school. They've shown interest, and opportunities need to be provided so that educational administrators at this school are fulfilling their standards and also living up to best practice. The principal is heading up a project that he really doesn't seem to be too interested in, and the assistant principal is passionate about this project. So it would make sense that possibly the assistant principal take over the leadership in this project. Attitudes shine through to parents in different situations, and this could really impact the success of this program that they're trying to implement. So ideally, the assistant principal would take the lead. Finally, the principal genuinely makes, or essentially makes, assumptions regarding the parents, as I mentioned earlier. And staff really do need to genuinely form relationships with parents and really get to know them. And this includes what their individual gifts are, as we discussed in our class readings, as this can be utilized to optimize student learning and opportunities at school. My proposed plan of action, the first thing would be to provide structured and unstructured opportunities for the parents to become involved. And as again in our class readings, once the parental advisory program, or maybe it ends up becoming a PTO, but however this program that they're starting, once it gets on its feet, it's likely that it really won't require a whole lot of administrative time and effort. I define unstructured opportunities as activities that the parents carry out kind of on their own. It's not anything that's scheduled. The school might provide prompts or ideas, but these activities are activities that are related to their child's schoolwork. It could be, for example, practicing skills that they need to be successful in school, like maybe practicing math facts or reading with their kids to help with their reading fluency or their comprehension, maybe doing specific strategies with them. But these are all going to be related to school success and therefore are also involvement with school, but things that the parents are carrying out on their own. My second proposed plan of action is that the assistant principal will, if appropriate, offer to take the leadership on this project for parental involvement. If this isn't appropriate or if the principal is not receptive, then the assistant principal can keep being supportive of efforts, keep suggesting ideas, and hopefully over time the principal will become more trusting of her intentions and her ability to carry out her ideas and that her ideas are good ideas. And again, when I say if appropriate, I'm really just trying to make sure that we're looking big picture and that at this point the assistant principal is pretty new to the school. We need to look at what's best for students in all dealings, and it might in the long run be more in their best interest if this initiative starts a little more slowly, and then maybe the assistant principal can have a bigger impact if it just takes a little longer than trying to head up something a little more quickly now, and then the working relationship between her and the principal maybe not be a good one. Finally, steps will be taken to get to know parents and to form relationships with them and to learn what their gifts are. So, when supervising drop off and pickup, the principals will make efforts to establish a genuine conversation. So, not just a greeting, but actually learning about the parents and engaging with them. And this will occur 3 out of 5 days a week at least. And parents who are less involved, and especially those with high-risk students, will be targeted in these interactions. And then the principals will keep notes regarding these interactions to help them remember and link information regarding the parents' strengths, their needs, and beliefs so that they can serve their kids more effectively and utilize them as resources and get them engaged in the school processes. And then also just whenever there are more informal opportunities, the principals will engage parents in professional but also friendly conversation. So this will happen when they're meeting at parental involvement opportunities, like before and after, but then also as other opportunities arise. And again, the principal might not be open to these strategies right away. He's kind of still warming up to all of this, but the assistant principal can model these strategies. Hopefully the principal will see the effect of them and join in. If appropriate, the assistant principal can explicitly share what she's doing. Eventually, this should happen through when she shares information about the parents, but she'll just have to use her best judgment on when to share information with the principal about what's happening and invite him to participate versus modeling. What is best for the students? Well, parental involvement is best for all students. The proposed plan and steps for these will facilitate parental involvement and also relationships, and they will draw on the strengths and interests of the administrators. So hopefully this will help the administrators improve in their roles. And parents need to feel welcome in their child's school. This will help them become an active part of their child's education. Parental involvement is linked with student success, and it also benefits the school since parents can be invaluable resources in carrying out school activities. What was I thinking and feeling and valuing as I was going through this case study? I was thinking of ways to help open the principal's mind and also to get the assistant principal in the leadership role regarding this initiative. I was surprised that the principal made conclusions with such little information, and also that he wanted to cancel the parent meeting so quickly, that he was disappointed that 8 parents showed up. I thought that was a pretty good number, especially for something that was just starting, and with pretty short notice regarding the meeting too. I was valuing the patience that the assistant principal is showing in the situation and also her persistence. She seems to have really good social emotional insight and is using it effectively in her role. So as far as the problem at this point, we need to carry out the plan that I stated before. So what I stated will happen needs to be carried out, and this is just outlined on these slides. I'm going to kind of go quickly because I know I've got 15 minutes to do this presentation. So how did I, as the educational leader, promote academic success of every student? Well, the parents who show up at structured involvements for parental involvement, structured opportunities for parental involvement, tend to be parents who are already involved. Targeting less involved parents, and especially those of at-risk parents, like I mentioned earlier, during relationship forming efforts, helps promote the success for all students. So if we're looking at all student success, we need to include those students who might fall through the cracks, and that would be these students. Parents who feel more positivity about a situation will communicate this not necessarily intentionally to their children. If their children also feel positivity about school, then this will open their minds to be more creative and more effective problem solvers in the situation, and this will promote academic success. Additionally, relationship building efforts will help the parents feel at home with school staff and at the school, and this the interactions and the resulting feelings will encourage their involvement, which can also lead to the parents engaging their children in those activities directly related to academic success. So like the informal or unstructured parental involvement that I mentioned earlier. And this also builds trust. So if we end up needing to work directly with the parents to problem solve regarding their students, like for example in SIT or special education, then if this relationship is already established, then this can help make this process be more effective. As far as parental apathy, again, the positivity or the positive feelings, higher comfort level. If parents have good attitudes, it influences their child's attitudes most of the time, which could influence how students feel at school. If they feel more comfortable, less anxious or tense, then this can lead to more positive social interactions, and social engagement is linked with improved well-being. Feeling more comfortable and less anxious or tense leads to higher levels of creativity, like I said earlier, performance, self-esteem, and subsequently increased well-being as well. As far as promoting communities of engagement, I provided structured and unstructured opportunities for parental or for school involvement. I outlined a plan to do this, and it'll be broken down into tasks with target dates, as I mentioned on an earlier slide, so that this initiative is followed through with. Also, I'm attempting to draw on administrative strengths and interests. This might not occur right away explicitly, but there is a longer term plan in place, which includes trust building at the outset since the assistant principal is new. But again, we're looking long term into falling into roles that would help maximize the effectiveness of these initiatives. And I also promote community of engagement by offering ideas in a manner that optimizes the likelihood that the principal will actually want to follow through with them. So we're wanting these ideas to actually happen. The principal is the key stakeholder at this point, so we need his buy-in. And that is my presentation. It looks like I could have slowed down a little bit, but I invite you to rewind and stop and look at the slides in more depth. And this was an interesting case study, and it does seem like something that could really happen in a school. And I hope that if this was really a case, or probably is somewhere, that these principals figure out how to effectively work together and get this group started for the best of their students.